Hello, all you lovely souls who revel in embracing life just as I do. This is Neerja Malik, and you are welcome into my world of I Embrace. And what do we intend to do here? We delve into the many layers and shades of my life, exploring resilience, positivity, strength, and the inherent fun and laughter that lies deep within each of us. Interludes from my own exciting and adventurous journey, my personal battles and victories that have brought forth innumerable lessons in my life. It is these learnings that I place on a golden platter with utmost humility for your personal consumption. The divinity in me bows down to the divinity in all of you. Every day, one wakes up to a different mood, a different feeling, a different vibration, a different ambience and atmosphere. And what did I wake up to today? I woke up to being blessed by all my friends. And you'll ask me, who are your friends? And I'll laugh and I'll say that, my wallet used to be filled with them. And if you took all my friends out, you would find Thakur, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, you'd find Ma, Sharda Ma, you'd find the mother, you'd find Shirdi Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, Hanuman, how can I forget Shiva, Anantamayi Ma, Ganesha. You will find all of them in my wallet. Kuan Yin, so many. Mother Mary, Jesus. Gosh, my friends are countless and their blessings abound all around. So today I think I will talk about these masters, these saints, these wonderful beings who have lived, not lived, are part of mythology, imagination. But yes, I can feel them and I'm going to talk about them. When one has new friends, one doesn't forget the old. One just gathers them to oneself, excitedly adding on to your tribe. This is what makes me feel as if the whole world belongs to me and I belong to the whole world. There was a time when I felt very connected to Devi in all her forms, to Vaishno Devi. So this was after my B.Ed. Perhaps I'd been working in a school as a social worker, and I went to Nagrota to meet my friend Manju. And the topic of Vaishno Devi came up. It was very fascinating. And I insisted on wanting to go there. And it was pretty easy because her husband was in the armed forces and vehicles kept going towards Katra, which are the foothills of where the shrine is. Vehicles kept going towards Srinagar, and it was arranged that we go there one day. I'm not one who gets sick, in a jeep. But guess what happened that day? My friend and I, and we talk about these things. We both started what we called our chums. And now they say that you do not go into a temple when you are going through that phase of your month. But I was stubborn and I insisted on going. And we got into the jeep. And guess what? A little into the hills where you could hear the sounds of the trucks chugging furiously uphill, letting out loads of smoke into our faces. A little into the hills, our vehicle stopped working. So we jumped out and they looked at me and they said, "Sorry, Bulawa nahi aaya. You haven't been called." And I said, "What? No, I don't believe that." And suddenly, some jongas were coming. Now, there is a distinct difference between a jeep, which is open, and a jonga, which is a shut jeep. It is enclosed, and there is a door at the back. And suddenly, this convoy of jongas was coming. And I stopped them. And the one who was leading the way was a Sardar. He stopped. I spoke in Punjabi. I said, "Sardar ji, तुसी एक कम कर सकते हो?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Can you please do me a favor?" I said, "I was all set to go to Vaishno Devi and our vehicle is not working and I would love it if you could take me there." Now he was senior to my friend's husband who was standing behind me saluting, and I'm chatting with this fellow as if I've known him for years. And he said, "Ha ha, ajao ji." So my friend and I jumped into the back. They opened the door for us, and like queens, we stepped into the jonga and we went. I never fall sick. I've driven all over town. I've driven from Bombay to Chennai to Kunur, hills, dales, valleys, everything. Myself. Never felt sick. My parents both were very good drivers. And that day, I needed to stop the jonga and get out and puke. And you know what my friend kept telling me? Bulawa nahi aaya. See, the jeep got spoiled. See, you've never felt sick. See, etc., etc. And I refused to take no for an answer. I think that is where resilience, courage, stubbornness, being headstrong, obstinate, call it what you will. I think these are the different aspects of my personality that make me what I am. And I said, "No way. She has called and I am coming." And with these words, I sat back and we reached Katra. We reached up and my friend said, "I'm not coming." I said, "Why not?" She said, "No, your belief is that when you are going through this phase of life, you're got your periods, you are going in. But my belief is that in such a condition, I will not enter the shrine." I said, "Fair enough. To each their own." And this phrase of mine, please note it, "to each their own," is literally a philosophy of my life. Give the other person space to do what they want, as I give everyone space to do what they want. And I expect that space in turn. So I said, "Fair enough." But in those days, let me tell you, you went up to a place called Adhkawari. Adhkawari was midway. There is this little tunnel, and when you get into this tunnel, I was warned that people have died in there. When you get into this tunnel, it winds up and down. So sometimes your arms might be down, your head might be midway, your back might be higher, your legs might be down. So, like a snake, you have to go through the coils. And she said, I'm not coming in. I said, I have to go in. I don't know what made me stop at the entrance of that tunnel, bend down. I saw little water on the side. This is something I've never done before. I bent down. I dipped my fingers into the water. I touched my eyes and my forehead, and I put my hands on my heart, and I got readied for this adventure. I think that is something that I must bring to your notice, that there is a period of preparation. Whether you're going in for a delivery, an exam, a race, a ride, there is that moment of a connection between you and your higher self and the ultimate, the Almighty One above. And that is a moment, whether you realize it or not, you're in complete alignment with that superpower. You have paid your respects and you're going on to your onward journey, whatever it may entail. And I went. There was a man in front of me huffing and puffing, taking his time. There was no impatience. There was a deep silence. No one was speaking. Everyone was just focused on getting from one side to the tunnel to the other. And I took in the cool feeling. I took in the darkness. We couldn't see. We could only sense on our winding journey through this tunnel, which, according to me, felt like the inside of a snake, the way it was windy. And I made it to the other side, feeling highly empowered. At the same time, feeling a great sense of humility that I was able to do it. And I found my friend at the other end waiting for me. We carried on. What an experience. I am reliving it thanks to this wonderful audience that I get to share all my experiences with. So when we reached the top, this is midway at Kuvari. When we reached the top, in those days, there were no fences, there was no properly made route directly to the temple or the shrine. We had to clamber onto rocks barefoot, and cold glacial waters were gushing down, and we had to gingerly step from rock to rock, holding onto. You're not in a bus holding onto those straps. You're holding onto the rocks above you and ensuring that you don't fall into the gushing water. And some of the water is coming over your legs. You can literally feel your feet and your calves turning numb with the icy cool of these waters. And you can hear the gushing waves. So this is how we went through a tunnel of gushing water, cool breezes, gingerly hanging on to rocks above our heads and on the side. We made our way into the shrine. I had done something very smart. I'd heard that they're always in a hurry to have you go through because there's a crowd. But if you had change or notes and you gave it bit by bit and took people's names, they were willing to have you stand there till the last coin or note leaves your hand. So, with immense feeling of offering myself, my body, mind, and soul to Vaishno Devi, I stood there, feeling the vibrations go right through my body, tingling sensations, and I went out as if I was in a different space altogether, completely myself and yet not myself. Feelings that you cannot explain. I went down, voicing my thoughts that I will return again and again and again. The goddess had me entirely entrapped in her beauty and her strength and the ferocious stories of how she sat on this very strong animal with her arms holding the shank, holding the spear, powerfully enabled to destroy evil. I was on a high. No, I didn't ask for anything. I never felt the need to. There was nothing to ask for. I felt completely and totally fulfilled to the brim. Went very often, paid my respects, and never asked for anything. Once, I remember the same friend was in a hospital in Delhi, and for a surgery, the surgery went off very well. And as usual, guess what I did? In the army hospital, I insisted that I will go to Vaishno. And everyone said, no, you can't. How can you? There's no one to go with you. You know, there was a 13-year-old fellow, one of the nephews. Poor chap, not wanting to come, he was dispatched to go with me. I think it was the quickest trip that anyone has made from Delhi to Vaishno Devi and back. We got into a bus at 9, reached Katra, immediately ran up. I was young, ran up and reached the top. And history repeated itself. The nephew of my friend, like her, said, I'm not coming in. I said, okay. Now, by then, things had become very modern. There was an in route and there was an out. And there were lines and lines of people. And there's no way I could have made it back to Delhi. So the earlier time I had told Ma, listen, I might be having my periods, but you're a woman and you can understand. And not only that, I don't know whether I'll be able to come back here. So now that I'm here, I'm coming to visit you. What is the story this time? The story this time was that I bought the entire thal, the coconut and everything, and I went running to the exit gate where people were coming out from the shrine. And I told this soldier there that, guess what? My relatives are inside and they've forgotten to take this. So I have to go and I must give it to them. And you can see that line, I cannot follow them in. So please let me go from the exit. I'll be able to quickly catch them in the shrine and give it to them. See, the bottom line is that even these ideas, I feel, come from a higher power. So she wanted me to come. She had called me. And she was giving me the ways and means of getting over the loopholes or jugaad karke going in. Call it what you will. But the fact of the matter is the earnestness with which I spoke. And of course, during school days, I think I mentioned that I wanted to run away to Bombay to join Al Qazi's drama school. I did a great job. He let me in. I went in, handed over the thali from the wrong side, did my prayers of passing little notes and little coins and coming out. We ran down, jumped into a bus, and the next day we were back in Delhi. Of course, not forgetting that every time I've gone to Vaishno Devi, the phenomenally tasty food, the rajma, the prasad, everything is great. So that was my second time. What was the next time? After that, Vaishno Devi, or Mata, or Ma as I call her, we had a wonderful relationship. And she kept calling me at will. And I kept going, regardless. And then my aunt fell sick. We were in London, and my parents and my sister had come to visit us. My husband and I were posted. My husband was posted there. We got to know that she had been diagnosed with leukemia. My parents immediately left with my sister, and I followed to the command hospital. I went to India on the 25th of December, having spent the afternoon with a Christmas meal at my husband's aunt's house in Ealing, spent his birthday and our wedding anniversary, 1982, and I came to India. On the plane, we had a wonderful Christmas meal, turkey, Yorkshire pudding, etc. And we had even Santa Claus intermittently walking through the aisle, laughing and saying, ho, ho, ho. I went to Pune. My aunt was rather unwell. She needed many hundreds of bottles of blood. And then I decided that I'm going to go to Vaishno. So I went, I insisted, as usual, that I want to go. And for the first time, when I went to Vaishno Devi, I asked, I've never asked. I used to just go visit, feel elated, feel spiritually on a high. Never occurred to me that people go and ask, demand, cajole, blackmail. We will do this if you do this, we will do that. No, I just went to pay my respects and to fill in my senses with the beauty of the shrine and the mountains, the valleys, the greenery, all the elements and all its glory. I went and I demanded. Well, actually, I didn't demand, but I pleaded, I cajoled, I begged that the life of my aunt, who was only 5 years older than me, be saved. And with deep humility and tears in my eyes, I left and came back to India, to Pune. And I had to go back to England. So I left on the 28th, and she passed away on the 6th of March. I was there till the 28th of February. I came away, and I must tell you this. In my bedroom, I had a little shrine where the statue, the brass statue of Vaishno Devi, astride on her four-legged, ferocious animal, with the spear in her hand, was there. And one day this Britisher came, and while he was passing, he glanced at my shrine, and he said, "What is that?" And I took the statue and I showed it to him, and I said, "I believe in her. I believe in a lot of gods and goddesses, but I have an affinity, a special affinity for her, and she's called Vaishno Devi." So he said, "Aha, now I know." I said, "What do you know?" He said, "Now I know why you have this persona and why this aggression can come through. And I said, oh my God, just because a woman is talking her mind or is herself, the men think that she's aggressive, and they actually think the reason for her aggression is her belief in a goddess who sits on a ferocious looking tiger. Ma didn't leave me alone. She called me to her shrine where I nearly went up in flames, but we keep that fiery story for the next time. There are a couple of more incidents that Ma and I have shared, and I would love to share them with you, my beloved audience. I started by saying that the divinity in me bows down to the divinity in all of you, and I end with the same Namaste. I embrace isn't just about my journey of conquering cancer. It's about embracing life in all its entanglement and beauty. Remember, in this journey of life, you are never alone. And I need to thank you for becoming a part of this inspiring journey. Thank you for joining me today on I Embrace and my heartfelt wishes. Stay resilient, stay positive, and most importantly, keep embracing life in all its glory.